So, I work a hodgepodge of systems. I
Okay.
have our CRM, which, for those that don't know, is a customer relationship management tool where when a lead comes in, I immediately put them in the system, put some notes in about, what they're looking for and where they want to be. I can also set up listing alerts that will start emailing them every day, every week of new properties hitting the market, and we can see it in real time. That helps me to keep my eye on what the buyer is actually looking for. Then I keep a kind of an Excel spreadsheet that I use to track, all my business in one place. I have it on the Google Docs. I like it that way because if I have my phone handy, I can pull it up and scroll through and check on things. And I keep a hot list of my top 15 to 20 prospects who are maybe looking to buy a home in the next 30 days to who may want to buy a home in the next 2 years. And I use that to stay in touch with my buyers and keep updates on what's happening. And so those are the things that I do. Because I'm solely focused on buyers, it makes it easy for me to track what's going on. And my system every day is I get up in the morning, wash my face, brush my teeth, and I jump on the MLS. I see what's changed overnight. And then I look over my spreadsheet of my buyers, and I immediately start sending out text messages or emails. Did you see the house on 123 Main Street just popped up? Is that something you'd be interested in? And I set my day up to go out and start looking for homes for buyers like that.
Gotcha. Welcome to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. And today's episode, we'll be speaking to Mr. Kevin Thomas. How are you, Kevin?
I'm outstanding, Kevin. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about who you are.
So I'm a full-time real estate agent in Savannah, Georgia. I have a team with me and my wife. She handles all listings. I handle all buyers. And we've been in business together. She started in 2013. I joined her in 2019. And we're full-time real estate agents getting it done in Savannah.
Awesome. So what were you doing prior to becoming an agent?
So I spent 23 years in the retail automotive industry, everywhere from, selling cars, managing dealerships, owning dealerships. So that was the extent of everything I did. And I was a serial entrepreneur. My wife and I, we owned some real estate properties throughout the years. We flipped houses, had rentals, did some stuff with commercial stuff. And so we got into real estate prior to getting into real estate. We were already, dabbling in it before we became agents.
Awesome. What made you make the jump from automotive to real estate?
So in the automotive industry, most people don't know how many hours you actually put in. So, you work every Saturday, some Sundays, you get there at 9 in the morning, you might leave at 9 o'clock at night. So the quality of life is challenging. My wife was in real estate and I was coming home, and hell, she was home all the time. It seemed like, compared to me, not to take anything away from her working, but she had more time flexibility. And in 2017, her income went above mine. And I said, okay, it's time for me to really look at this real estate more seriously. So I made a decision to take the class and give it a shot, because I knew I didn't want to stay in the automotive industry for the rest of my life. I was looking for my next career path, and real estate was a natural transition because I was used to working with people, used to working with money, used to doing transactions, and I was accustomed to grinding every day. So by going into real estate, it was just a natural fit, and it's been great ever since.
Got you. So what part of automotive were you in? Like, what position did you have?
So anywhere from sales manager, finance manager, general manager. I owned an independent used car dealership along with my wife for 13 years. We had a couple locations. So I was always on the front end, the retail side of things. And so I was able to learn, the finance part of it, dealing with money, getting loans approved. So when I came into real estate, I could actually speak intelligently with a mortgage lender because I understood things like payment to income, loan to value, and things like that.
Got you. So when you left the automotive industry, did you jump full time into it, or was there a gradual transition?
So I got my license in December of 2017. From January 2018 to January 2019, I dabbled because I was still full time at the dealership. So I did a couple transactions, usually just for friends, or if my wife needed me on my day off to go out and help do something, I would do that. But January 1st, 2019, I went full time in real estate. I resigned from my job December 31st. And January 1st, I started as a full time realtor.
Awesome. Do you know how long it took you to get your first transaction closed after, once you became full time?
Absolutely. I closed my first transaction in January of 2019. So in that first 30 days, I closed my first transaction.
Wow. In 2019, in your first year, do you know how many transaction sides you did?
33.
33. And how did you do 33 transactions? Like was they mainly listings? Was it buyer sides, combination of both?
So I'm a full-time buyer's agent. I've never done a listing the whole time I've been in real estate. So everything's been buyers. Part of it was my sphere of influence, people that I knew. A lot of people from the car business, actually, that I was able to help them buy homes. Because I understood, I had just bought my own home in 2018, and being a commissioned salesperson, there's a few extra hoops you have to jump through to be able to count all the money. And so I started talking to them in 2018 about make sure you're doing this and doing that so we can use all your income so you can qualify for the most home. So in 2019, I was able to help some of my guys buy houses that I work with, past coworkers, some friends. We were also buying leads from Zillow, and we were getting referrals from other agents. And then since my wife had been in real estate since 2013, we were starting to get some referrals from past clients. And then outside of that, it was me out there on social media, knocking on doors, doing open houses, networking, passing out cards and flyers, and drumming up business for myself.
Wow. Do you have a niche?
So yeah, my niche is first-time home buyer, military. So I'm a prior veteran, and so my base of operation is between Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield. So we have a lot of military, active duty, prior military, and retirees that live in the area. And so that's been my main niche. Probably 70% of my business is military or military affiliated in some way using their VA loan.
Got you. So you closed 33 transaction sides in your first year. What did your second year look like?
Second year was 52.
52. And all buyer side, you said all buyers, right?
Yeah.
All buyer sides. That's a lot of properties.
It is.
So what does your team look like? Do you have a team aside from your wife being a listing agent?
So currently we have one team member, which is an additional buyer's agent, and we have a full-time executive admin. Over the last couple of years, we've had 2 to 3 buyer's agents assisting me with buyers, but their numbers aren't counted in mine, but it's just really been for overflow because we do drum up so much business that I can't handle all of it.
Got you. And how was your business affected by the pandemic?
Kevin, the crazy thing is, man, it skyrocketed. I couldn't have imagined what the pandemic would have done in real estate. And to be quite honest, when the first lockdown shut down and everything started happening, I got really nervous. I started thinking about if I needed to have a part-time gig because I didn't know if we were going to be able to go out and sell any houses or what things were going to look like. But after the dust settled, we had our best year ever last year. And it was primarily, I believe, because people were stuck in their homes and they realized how much they didn't like them. Average person is home 8 hours a day and maybe 10 hours a day. They probably sleep 7 of them. But during the pandemic, we were there 24 hours. And now that a lot of companies have allowed their workers to work remotely, work from home, people started to make some changes in their housing situation. And we were, between upgrading people that were currently here or folks that were relocating to the Savanna market, things exploded. We had a great year last year.
Well, that's awesome, man. That transition from 33 to 52 is a significant jump. Mm-hmm. And while you're out showing houses, you have your team there for overflow. What type of system do you have in place to keep track of all of that business that's coming in while you're out showing properties and at closings and different things?
So, I work a hodgepodge of systems.
Okay.
I have our CRM, which for those that don't know is a customer relationship management tool, where when a lead comes in, I immediately put them in the system, put some notes in about what they're looking for and where they want to be. I can also set up listing alerts that will start emailing them every day, every week of new properties hitting the market, and we can see it in real time. That helps me to keep my eye on what the buyer is actually looking for. Then I keep a kind of an Excel spreadsheet that I use to track all my business in one place. I have it on the Google Docs. I like it that way because if I have my phone handy, I can pull it up and scroll through and check on things. And I keep a hot list of my top 15 to 20 prospects who are maybe looking to buy a home in the next 30 days to who may want to buy a home in the next 2 years. And I use that to stay in touch with my buyers and keep updates on what's happening. And so those are the things that I do. Because I'm solely focused on buyers, it makes it easy for me to track what's going on. And my system every day is I get up in the morning, wash my face, brush my teeth, and I jump on the MLS. I see what's changed overnight. And then I look over my spreadsheet of my buyers and I immediately start sending out text messages or emails. Did you see the house on 123 Main Street just popped up? Is that something you'd be interested in? And I set my day up to go out and start looking for homes for buyers like that.
Gotcha. What is your process with working strictly with buyers? And walk me from the beginning before you even show them a house.
So it starts off with a buyer's consultation. I try to do that in person when I can. I work with a lot of buyers who are relocating here. So that means we do it, by phone or by Zoom. And I ask the first question I ask is, why do you want to buy a house? Because I want to understand their motivation. If it's because somebody said it's a good idea to buy a house, means that they don't own it yet. So I want to make sure that I'm working with people who really want to own a home. There's a motivator for them to go into home ownership, because this process is going to be very tedious, as you know, and it's going to be some sleepless nights. It's going to be some rough days. There are going to be some arguments, and we need to be able to walk through this together. And I want to make sure that they know what they're getting into. So once I understand their motivation behind being a homeowner, then I talk to them through the process of what's going to happen next. If they haven't gotten themselves pre-approved yet, then I strongly encourage them to get pre-approved. Not just because I don't believe that they have the credit or the finances to do what they want to do, but because I want them to understand all the dynamics to buying a home. What's my payment going to be? What do I qualify for? Not only what do I qualify for, but do I want to pay as much money as I qualify for? They can get qualified for $1 million, but they want a $1,500 a month mortgage. We need to have those conversations up front. And then as far as closing costs and down payments and things like that, do they have that money set aside? And if not, we talk about the strategies behind that. So once we get the money out of the way, then we start talking about the house. Where do they want to be? When do they want to be in their new home? And then I can put together a blueprint of these are the areas that I think you're going to be most successful in. Let me start sending you out houses. As you see them, then we'll talk about going to see the houses. So once we get through the part of getting the money taken care of, finding the houses, then going to see the houses, then the rest is history as far as writing offers, negotiating deals, getting through due diligence, and getting to the closing table. But I believe that if I handle it right on the front end, everything else takes care of itself. But if I shortchange the process up front, then it's going to be a grind through the rest of the process. And one thing that I like to do is be very transparent, especially in this market, Kevin. It's nothing like anyone's ever seen before, and hopefully we never see it again, especially for first-time home buyers. I don't want to be a pessimist, but I want to be very upfront about what it's going to take to buy a house now. And I have that hard conversation so that they know when we're out there writing offers and we have to offer $15,000 or $20,000 above list price to get something, what that means.
Have you ever fired a buyer?
I have not. I should have several times because it wasn't a good fit. Have I been fired by buyers? Yes. But there have been some buyers that I should have walked away from, but I was so invested in it that I hung on, and it cost me sleepless nights, and it made me want to fight. But we got through it. But yes, there's times when that I wasn't a good fit for them, or they weren't a good fit for me, and I should have walked away. I should have knew when to hold them, knew when to fold them, knew when to walk away, knew when to run. So.
But you got to count your blessings sitting at the table, right? So I know you said that you're ex-military, and because you're near the military bases, why specifically first-time home buyers? Maybe why not transients or second-time home buyers?
Kevin, is and I work with everybody. But
right.
My niche been that because it was an underserved market.
Okay.
When my dealership was in the military community, and my niche then was people buying their very first car, and they could go to any other dealership and buy a car, but they couldn't go to any other dealership and have an experience. And for me, it was about providing an experience to someone who's never done this before. Being the big brother, the big uncle, the father figure that helps them walk through this process and is there for them. And because I'm prior military and I've walked in their boots and been in their shoes, I wish, that there had been more people like me available that could do that for us. And so that's, there's plenty of great agents in the market, but not all of them have been in the military. Not all of them understand what it means to be a soldier. And I felt like it was my duty, being prior military, being a veteran, to provide that experience for military guys and girls.
Got you. So you do 52 transactions in your second year.
Mhm.
What does your third year look like?
So I went in my third year with a goal to do 60. I was trying to incrementally grow it. So my goal was to do 60 initially. Then I said, let me push it up, and I pushed up to 69, and I ended up closing 77 last year. So my third year was 77 units.
77 units.
Mhm.
So what changed, if anything, in your marketing from the first year when you did 33 to the 77 you did in your third year?
Not a lot changed in my marketing. I did pick up a few new referral sources, but it's just the time that you spend in an industry. Every year you're growing. People are becoming more aware of you. So my referrals started to come in. What else happened? I started to get repeat buyers. As strange as it sounds, people who had bought a house already were buying another house. They were moving up. So I was starting to get repeat buyers just that fast. And then there were people that I met in my first and second years that I had been nurturing. Maybe they had some credit issues that they had to get worked out, some money issues. And then all of a sudden, boom, they were ready to buy a home. Matter of fact, one guy and his wife, I met them my first year, and they had some credit problems. They had some money problems. And then last year, just by staying in touch with them, their credit got better and their money got better. And so just having time in the business, you're going to have people that if you're nurturing them properly, because everyone that you talk to today can't buy today or won't buy today. And we have a tendency to say, well, kick them to the curb and move on. But if you keep your arms around them and touch bases with them every 3 to 6 months and just let them know you're still there, then when the time is right, they will buy. They will buy eventually. Will they buy from me or you or the next agent? It depends on who's continuing to add value to them.
Got you. How do you market yourself? Like, walk me through like your marketing game plan.
So we buy online ads. Zillow is one of them. We have some referral sources with a couple lenders, a couple referral groups. My wife and I, we have a billboard in town, right in the middle of town, by the Walmart, so everybody has to pass by it. Then we have some agents that we've done business with over the years, especially those who are in military communities that have people transitioning to the Fort Stewart, Hunter Army Airfield market. When they know of someone coming this way, they tag us in. Also, our social media, we have a strong presence on Facebook, Instagram. I do YouTube videos. I usually do about 2 videos a week where I do what's called frequently asked questions. I'll post them out there, and it's typically things that someone just asked me. And I'll just go and do a 2 to 3 minute video of frequently asked questions. That gets shared a lot. And then I get phone calls from people, hey, thanks for the information, by the way. I'm looking to do something. And then our sphere of influence are the people that we know, the people that know us, like us, trust us. They refer a lot to us, from family members and friends to coworkers to people that just were Facebook friends and I don't even know them personally. They'll just tell somebody to call me. So that's what we do. So right now we're fortunate that our business is growing more organically, where we're not paying for a lot of ads like we were initially. But it's just continuing to provide a great service, word of mouth, and then a few times a year we do different things for our buyers. Like every Christmas we send a cake to our buyers for Christmas, and that's huge. They're not expecting anything. We do client event parties. So we do a backyard barbecue kind of event, DJ, bounce houses, things like that, free food giveaway, and just show appreciation to our current client base. Because if we show them appreciation, show them love, then they continue to do business with us, and then they continue to share our message with others.
That's awesome. So how are you able to track if you get any business from your billboard? Is it regular picture billboards or electronic?
It's regular picture. It's hard to track that because there's no call to action.
Okay.
It's just presence. I call it's like another bullet in the chamber. But it's because you're in a transient community where people are coming and going out. Like the other day, somebody says, "I've seen your picture somewhere before." Yeah, I know you pass by me every day, going to work.
Right. And
then if they see another message, then now it ties it together. So the billboard really isn't a trackable item. I mean, we have some people that says, "I saw your billboard." I've had one person say, "I saw your billboard. I think I want to sell my house." Typically, that's not the typical thing. It's really just for a presence and a reminder.
Okay. That was my next question. What was the motivation behind the billboard? But you answered it. In terms of this year,
Mm-hmm.
And some of the challenges that we're seeing, how is your year to date compared to year to date last year?
I am personally up about 2 units from this time last year. So everything's staying the same. I should end up around the same number in the 70s. I'm taking a little less business this year because I have brought on some additional buyer's agent, and I'm going to be adding another, and I want to support them to reach their goals. And I want to do some business building this year. And I can't really do a lot of business building if I'm out, belly to belly with customers, showing houses a lot. So we brought on some folks where we can leverage some time, we can support them, and we can do the things to grow the business.
Yeah,
but still should end up, in the same ballpark.
Since your niche is first-time home buyers, VA, are you able to do anything like home buying seminars or events on the basis?
So on base, you're not able to do anything that's considered soliciting. I'm sure there are some ways to do some home buyer seminars. Probably can't do it on base. And it's funny you mentioned that. Since I started, that's been one of the things that I wanted to do was a home buyer seminar, and to do it off base. But my other thing was to do it virtually, because we have so many people who are transitioning here, or even maybe the husband's in Korea and the wife is here, to do it virtually where they can both experience it together. That's been one of my things. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I need to put that back on the top of my list to do more home buyer seminars. And even if I can't do it physically on the base, I mean, I can market it, directly to VA buyers. And I think that, one thing COVID taught us is to be able to live and operate in a virtual environment. And if I can do it virtually, whether live, pre-recorded, or just live and be able to send out the recordings, I think I can reach more than renting out a banquet room, sending out 100 flyers and hoping 10 people show up.
Right. Your FAQ post that you do on YouTube, have you received it? Have you closed any business off of that you can track?
Not that I can track, but it's building awareness. It keeps people coming back. And it helps even when if I get a new buyer and they're not ready to do anything yet, I can send them the link to my FAQs, and it sets me up as an industry expert because I'm answering the questions that they have but don't know how to ask yet. Because sometimes I say, "Do you have any questions?" They'll say, "No." I said, "You gotta have some questions." They said, "Well, no, I can't think of any." Well, good news is I've got 100 questions that I've already answered for you. Go on over here, watch this, and it sparks a conversation where now they're feeling more empowered. Another good thing it does for me is when we have to have different kinds of conversations about the home inspection process. Because one thing that is strange when people say, "Well, I don't need a home inspection; the VA is going to do it for me." And it's a misconception. The VA doesn't do a home inspection for you; they're doing an appraisal. And it's funny even how some realtors don't even realize that. And the crazy thing is, Kevin, I've had a lot of realtors chime in on my post and say, "Man, I didn't know that. I wasn't aware that you could do that." And so I'm not only educating the buyers, potential buyers, but a lot of realtors out there are not up to speed on a lot of things.
So how important do you think how important do you think to your success was having a niche?
Was having a niche?
Yep.
It was very important because, so my background in the automotive industry was part of what I did. I also did some business coaching and consulting, and my niche was in marketing.
Okay.
And the first thing that we learned in marketing was who's your target market. And when I was in the automobile industry, initially I didn't have a target market. I did have a target market, which was first-time home buyer, buyer, military guys buying their cars. But the reason why I had this is I didn't have enough money to market to anybody else. So I could only market to those people. I didn't realize that I had a target market. Because over the years, 15 years, I was trying to get other kind of markets. And I'm going to get some of this, and I'm going to get some teachers, I'm going to get some law enforcement. And I spread myself so thin that I was missing my core business is what fed me. So when I came into real estate, I said, I'm going to have a target. I'm going to have a target market of people that I want to work with. And I'm going to focus on them, 100%. Do I work with other people? Yes. I work with teachers, federal employees, But when I go out to really plant my flag somewhere, I'm planting it in military. And it always keeps me grounded. It always brings me back. And when someone tries to get me to advertise or spend money on something, I'm able to go to them and say, do you reach this buyer? Can you reach this buyer? And if their answer is, him and Han, or I don't know, then I know that's not for me. But if someone says, I have a way to reach more military buyers than anybody else, then I'm going to have a conversation with them. And that helps me stay focused.
Got you. Do you have any VA certifications through NAR, National Association of Realtors, or anything like that?
I never have. I never taken the military relocation, got the designation, hadn't done any of that. I've been on several seminars and webinars where I'm just learning more, but I've never picked up the certification. Not saying that I don't need it. I'm sure it will be helpful, but I've also never had anyone ask me, as far as a buyer, are you a certified military relocation specialist? That's the only person I want selling me a house right now.
Got you. What are two misconceptions? Two of the biggest misconceptions that you see with buyers when it comes to their VA loan?
With buyers, misconceptions. Number one, I don't need any money because the VA is going to is a no money down deal and they're going to pay my closing costs. That's the biggest misconception. Yeah. And the second misconception is I can't buy another house because I already used my VA eligibility. Those are the two biggest ones.
Gotcha. So, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, as a part of their training in the military, like schooling and stuff that they take, or whatever they take for certifications, you think they should get more information on their benefits?
I think that'd be great. I think that'd be wonderful. I think that's the part in the military where and maybe they do a better job now. I don't know what they're doing. I know that when I was in the military, they didn't talk about our VA benefits. And I served 5 years, so I didn't retire. So people in at my level, we didn't even talk about your VA benefits when you get out. I didn't know how to use my VA loan benefits when I got out of the military.
Mm.
I didn't know what was available to me by getting out of the military. So I think they've gotten a lot better of educating service members. But yeah, it would be great if they did offer some type of education, or at least tell them where they can find it. If you're interested in buying a home, here's a place to go to learn about how to use your VA benefits to buy a house.
Gotcha. Well, I think that it should be part of the exit. Mm-hmm. And that's from my standpoint, because not only is it just like the VA benefit of the loan, it's a lot of stuff. Like their education that they can get, the money they get for education, their VA disability, a lot of things like that. So, like I enjoy, and I know this is not about me, but I enjoy working with veterans and helping them, just educate them on their benefit. And, I don't know a lot of the other benefits that they have other than when I'm in a transaction and the person has schooling and they get money for going to school and they want to know, does that count? And it can count towards income if it's likely to continue for 3 years. Right. You know what I mean? So that can help. And I always guide them to the VA website, and some of them have never been there.
Yep.
Some have never been there. If you had a realtor that came to you, was interested in becoming a real estate agent, what would be one of the first things you would tell them to implement in their business that you may or may not have done when you started?
So someone that's interested in becoming a realtor, or someone that's already a realtor?
Either one. You can answer either way.
So, if someone was already a realtor, just got their real estate license, and said, Kevin, what's my next step? I would tell them, number one, establish a niche.
Okay.
Who do you want to serve? Number two, establish a team. You need to have, 2 or 3 loan officers, mortgage loan officers, 2 or 3 home inspectors. You need to have connections with, closing attorneys. Everybody a part of the transaction that you need to build a team of them around you, because it's not just going to be on you, it's going to be on the team to make this happen and be successful. What else? What I would tell them to do? Save their money. If they're going to come into this and be a full-time real estate agent, don't look at HGTV and think that you're going to come in and your first listing or first sale is going to be $1 million beachfront property. They're paying cash and closing in 2 weeks. It's likely it's going to be $100,000 home FHA buyer has one option to buy, and you're going to have to limp them away all the way through it. to maybe make, $2,000 or $3,000 in 2 or 3 months. So save some money. Because if you don't have a war chest, if you don't have 5 or 6 months worth of income in the bank to cover your expenses, you're likely going to be out of this business faster than you came into this business.
All right.
And, and just not that you have to live off that money, but it's comforting to know that if I don't close the sale tomorrow, if I don't close the sale next month, we're not going to be homeless and hungry. And you can go out there and do the business the right way without fear and concern and stress. Because when you go into this and you're dealing with people, they can sense, that you're stressed, that, you're just looking for a commission, that you really don't have my best interest at heart. And you don't want to come off that way in this industry because people won't want to work with you if they think that it's just about a commission and not about them making the largest investment that they've ever made or may ever make in their life.
Gotcha. What states are you licensed in, Kevin?
Just Georgia.
Just Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Are you currently reading any self-development books, getting any type of coaching or anything?
So, so I'm being coached currently by I have a coach with the Tom Ferry Group. Tom, you probably heard of him. He's big guy, big guru in this industry. And my wife and I, we're Keller Williams agents, so we do have a coach through Keller Williams. And reading, so I'm an avid reader, man. Readers are leaders, and so currently, reading because we're in a shifting market. And Gary Keller, founder of Keller Williams, wrote a book called Shift. I'm getting ready to start reading that. And he wrote that during the last shift we had in the market. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. That's another book that he's written. I'm reading that. Then there's another book I just picked up, and because you asked about it, I'm going to forget. But it was written by the founder of Compass Realty. And he has a book, and it's about teamwork. The name is drawing a blank on me, but it was like, having people around you, needing people, you're not going to accomplish anything by yourself. So those are a couple of books. And then every year I read Think and Grow Rich, just as a reminder. It really helps me, stay dialed in.
Gotcha. Well, Kevin, this has been an awesome interview. I've gotten some great insight on your business. For anyone who could potentially be interested in speaking to you or trying to get up with you, what's the best way to contact you?
So they can find me on Facebook. I'm Kevin Make It Happen Thomas on Facebook. Email is my name, Kevin Thomas at kwforkellerwilliams.com, or they can call me 912-980-6153.
That's awesome. Thank you, brother. This has been the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for watching the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast with Kevin Jefferson. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when the latest video drops.